Business owners and residents here on the island say that they're already seeing a big change this season, but it's not for a good reason. They're saying they're already seeing a lot of vacations being canceled here. What's to blame? This brown, murky water. It's been nearly 72 hours since the rain stopped falling here, and as you can see, the water is still standing here in the roadways. Residents here now want to know what is going to be done to prevent this from happening in the future, and they want drains put in as soon as possible. LeClaire now faces extradition back to Florida. We continue to follow the story of a shooting near a school bus stop in Lehigh Acres. Wink News was the first on scene just moments after that 16-year-old was taken away in an ambulance. Today, Michael Quinton Wayne Turner is behind bars, charged with that shooting. David Bowden has more from Lehigh Acres. She said that's when she realized that she had forgotten something, so she checked on her daughter who was in the back seat. She got out of the car and she went inside. But according to this report, that's when the thief got inside the car, didn't know there was a baby inside, and they took off. On the Money at 7, starting Tuesday, if you don't have health insurance, you will be able to buy coverage under the Affordable Health Care Act. The government recently released what it will cost, and the numbers show it all depends on where you live. Rachel Spangenthal found out why in Lee County, customers will pay more than people in Collier County. Business owners and residents here on the island say that they're already seeing a big change this season, but it's not for a good reason. They're saying they're already seeing a lot of vacations being canceled here. What's to blame? This brown, murky water. Governor Rick Scott says water releases from Lake Okeechobee have caused fish kills and toxic water, and that will soon take a toll on our economy. He says that's because the Army Corps of Engineers isn't meeting its mark. In a letter to the department, Scott says in part, the 50-year-old Lake Okeechobee structure is supposed to be a 100% federal responsibility, yet it has deteriorated due to a lack of investment and maintenance by the Corps of Engineers. Scott is committing $40 million and wants the Army Corps to chip in $1.6 billion to help solve that problem. People on Fort Myers Beach say they just want things to go back to the way they were with that crystal clear water.
It takes a lot of the beauty of the paddleboarding out because you can't really see a lot of the aquatic animals and stuff that you normally can on the board, so it takes something away from it.
If you are going to make your way down to the beach, one thing first responders want to remind you is this water probably isn't as clear as you're used to seeing it. So one thing to keep in mind, do the Stingray Shuffle, especially if you don't have those water shoes on. Reporting on Fort Myers Beach, Nicole Hart, Wink News. It's a high-tech machine with a simple purpose, to make kids more at ease in the hospital.
Distraction has been shown to work so you can make it less painful and more tolerable.
It's called a Vecta Sentry Distraction Unit, but the patients know it as the bubble machine, or just that machine. Child life specialist Shane Rafferty says they ask for it all the time.
I've definitely brought in kids who've been nervous for procedures, and this just kind of all melts away and they just start playing with it and get to be kids again.
Kids like 8-year-old Mary Louise can squeeze a ball to control bubbles, watch projections on the wall, and play with fiber optic cables.
The fact that you can control some of the things helps as well because you feel like you're in control and you pay, most of your attention is making the machine work rather than what the nurses are doing.
And while the machine mesmerizes kids, it's also a plus for parents during some of their most trying times.
They're also typically pretty stressed when they're coming into the hospital, so having like soft music playing and like the nice lights, they kind of get to sit and relax a bit and see their kid kind of have fun again, makes them feel better as well.
And to let their imagination run wild. In Collier County, Nicole Hart, Wink News. Tracy Vicky hopes to raise $200,000 for a group in need. She represents the LV Biker Group, which this year picked the YMCA in Naples.
We liked the Y, we loved their mission and vision, and almost everybody in our little volunteer group either attended the Y as youth or have kids that go there or learn to swim there or learn to play basketball there. So it became about the stories of the fabric of our town. We said, let's do the Y. And this is planned about 6 months ago.
And now she says this year's fundraiser is more important than ever. That's after a lightning strike caused that facility to go up in flames on Labor Day.
We then knew that we had made the right choice in picking the Y this year, and it's going to be the best one we ever had. And our town needs to embrace this Y. This Y is a town. It's about this town, and the town needs to step up and help them.
Reporting in Naples, Nicole Hart, Wink News. Sacramento says bigger cities like Fort Lauderdale and Tampa will be less expensive because they have more options. Coverage begins on January 1st. Be sure to do your research before picking a plan because once you do, you'll be locked in for that entire year. We're learning new information about the man who killed Sergeant Michael Wilson last month before turning the gun on himself.